failure comes, especially in your world, at a very high cost.
Yeah.
At the same time, if organizations are going to develop, to innovate, to become better and different, they've got to make it safe to fail or to try new things. How do you create that culture without licensing just a cavalier nature, but help people know you can fail, you can come up with ideas. It's okay if they were the wrong one, we just need to try new and different things.
Yeah. And we in the military have not done that very well for lots of reasons. Part of it is the cost is high in combat, but we don't really underwrite failure in peacetime very well either, so that excuse isn't really valuable. I think the first thing you have to do is separate failure in two piles. The first is a failure of what I'd say is negligence, and the second is a failure of some other reason. And what I mean by negligence, if you didn't do your homework, if you didn't put enough effort, if you didn't do the things that were reasonably open to you to give you a probability of success, and you fail, shame on you. And leaders have got to act on that. You've either got to correct that person or you got to get rid of them. Everything else can be a failure of judgment, it can be a failure of luck, it can be a failure of any number of factors. Those have got to be celebrated. And when I say celebrated, you've really got to communicate to the organization, hey, you took a shot at that, I'm glad you did, I want you to take more shots. Now the organization will hear you say that and they won't immediately believe it, because they will look for subtle indicators of whether you mean it. The leader stands up on day one, brand new leader says, I really want people to try and fail and it's okay. The organization says, okay, and they watch. They watch who gets promoted. They watch what's happened to people who fail. They watch whether the organizations, let's say teams or parts of the organization that fail trying nobly, whether they get resourced, whether they get other shots at that. They'll watch all those indicators and they will shape their own behavior accordingly. And the greatest danger is if they conclude that failure is a problem, even if they're not negligence, what they'll do is they'll start to mitigate that risk. And to mitigate that risk, they will start to seek perfect information. They'll try to seek unlimited number of resources. In some cases, they'll try never to do anything that involves any risk. And so what you basically do is shape an organization that won't make any tough decisions. They will only do things that are absolutely slam dunks. And once you're there in an organization, you can't take any chances, you can't make any real progress. But it's insidious how quickly that grows and how you'll find people who are masters in an organization of avoiding risk for sometimes a career. And they're kind of Teflon leaders, and you won't immediately know it, but you'll find it. And they've unconsciously developed this extraordinary ability to avoid either failure or responsibility for it. And that's got to be really exorcised from every organization.